scoffers come. All right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Arachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, taught us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect, and to the men that died doing the work of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, because they shall of us first. To the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son. The Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer, because he come and deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. My name is Mark Allah Ben Gad Ben Yasharallah, the Church Philadelphia camp here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once again, come back at you with another one. And as the title says, militaries are being briefed that this war is Armageddon. What does this mean for Babylon? You know? And as the scriptures say, hey, man, we know this place. Hey, this is it, man. We here. You know, this is what we've been prophesying about for years and years and years, man. You know? Now it's finally here. So let's talk about it. And I want to play this video first. This gentleman's about 2 minutes long, not too long.
On the ground, the actual legal are deployed to a...
Let's see what he's talking about. He's going into this war right here. All right, this is the war to end all wars. Because after this war, it's never going to be a war again. Because Yahweh Shai is coming back. All right,
You're deployed to a conflict zone, and your commanding officer tells you that you are fighting for the return of Jesus. This isn't a movie plot. It is a bombshell reality hitting over 30 U.S. military installations right now. Reports are surfacing that troops across every branch of the military are being briefed with messages about biblical prophecies and Armageddon as the justification for a major new conflict in the Middle East. Over 100 separate complaints have already been logged with religious freedom groups because the messaging is surreal. Commanders are reportedly telling service members that the current conflict is all part of a divine plan and that the leadership has been specifically anointed for the end times. While these chilling briefings are happening on the ground, the actual legal justification at home is completely missing. This entire military operation was launched without a single declaration of war from Congress and without a clear constitutional explanation offered to the American people. The narrative keeps shifting. First, we were told it was about an imminent nuclear threat. But leaked intelligence suggests there was no evidence of an imminent attack on U.S. forces. It feels like the goalposts are moving every single day. Even more shocking is where these massive strategic decisions are being made. Reports describe a chaotic scene at a private vacation home where top-secret military targets were displayed behind hastily hung curtains while guests wandered nearby. Security protocols seem to have vanished, replaced by a glib attitude toward the human cost of these decisions. When families grieve for those who make the ultimate sacrifice, they are told that's just the way it is. Meanwhile, as taxpayers struggle to make ends meet, energy prices are spiking and the cost of global trade is skyrocketing. Even the most prominent voices across the political spectrum are starting to push back, asking why our best and bravest are being put at risk for a plan that no one can officially explain. We are seeing a full-scale war unfold based on a narrative that many are calling a dangerous fantasy. We have to ask, who is really calling the shots, and what is the true cost of this mission? Stay informed on the stories the mainstream media won't touch. Subscribe and follow for more. Imagine being a soldier deployed to a conflict zone where your commanding officer tells you that you are fighting.
I'm going to play that again in the end, but hey, man, we hear it. That's beautiful, man. You know? But let's get into it. What does this mean for Babylon? All right. Let's grab the scriptures. All right. First scripture we want to get into is Revelation. Okay. Because, hey, man, like I said, this war right here, this the last war ever, man. There ain't going to be no more wars. All right. Because Yahweh Shai is coming back to take all the kingdoms. That's why they're being gathered together in the Valley of Decisions, man. All right. Which is Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat. This is the battle of Armageddon in the Hebrew. All right. That's the King James Version. Salaki. Revelation 16 and 13. And yo, all these man, these spirits is they crazy right now because everything's activated. The Lord is making good on His promise, man. All right, and this is Revelations 16 and 13, and as the headline says, if you can read it, Armageddon. All right, Armageddon in the Hebrew. I believe Armageddon is a Greek word, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, in fact, we can look that word up too. It says, Revelation 16 and 13, it says, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet, which are, I believe, those three unclean spirits like frogs. One is I know it's the military, financial, and I believe the government political, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll get that in a second. Bear with me. It says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world to gather them to battle of the great day of God Almighty. And that's what they're telling these people, man. You know, they're being, hey, man, going to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, and Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, you know, where all these nations, the Lord is using these nations, and Russia's a main factor. All right, a main factor that's going to be the head of the leader, the how they say the leader ambush, so to speak, on America with the missiles, man. All right, it says, verse 15, it says, behold, and this is Yahweh Shah speaking, because it's in red. It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue. So like I said, Greek, it's a Hebrew word. And the Hebrew tongue called Armageddon, which is Armageddon. All right. So let's get this word right here. Armageddon. Go and grab that in a blue letter. All right.
Strong's G717. Armageddon. Armageddon.
All right, which says Armageddon, the hill of the city of Megiddo. Megiddo. All right. Hey, my God, Shalom, bro. Yahbashim Yashah, Bashim Rechakodas Brakatah. All right, it says Revelations. It says in Revelation 16 and 16, the scene of the struggle of good and evil is suggested by the battle plain of Escalon, which was famous for two great victories of Barak over the Canaanites and Gideon over the Midianites. And for two great disasters, the deaths of Saul and Josias, hence in Revelations a place of great slaughter, and that's where the Lord is gathering them, these people. The scene of a terrible retribution upon the wicked. It says the RSV translated the name as Armageddon. All right, it says the hill as is the city of Megiddo. That's where these people going. The Lord is bringing them over there, man. And that's where they're going to end up. That's going to be the end of it, man. So you're going to have a major draft because America, hey, man, this place is about to get it handed to them through the spirit and power, mercy, and grace of Yahweh Shem Shai. That's what we're reading about. But that's what it means. And this is Yahweh Shai spoke this, man. All right. So all like through the military, they all over there. You got the policies that America uses in their religion. You know, they're forcing it on everybody, and that's those unclean spirits, man. That was like the frogs, you know. And the nations are angry, man, because that's why you had over there, and I believe it was Iran when they burnt the Baphomet, no, not the Baphomet, Baal, the statue of Baal. And this guy, Netanyahu, he said when they did that act, he said that was an act of war. And that right there shows you who they worship, man. You know, who they worship, Baal. And they call themselves Well, they're Israelis. They're not Israelites. Nowhere in the Bible does it mention Israelis. So they're off right there. But let's go ahead to the prophet Joel. And Joel keeps coming up, man. And these last couple lessons I've been on, he's been popping up a lot. So this is Joel chapter 3, and let's start at verse 1. All right. It says the nations will be judged, and this is going into what? Armageddon, Armageddon. All right, that's why we start out with Revelation. Salak, I didn't put this on. Do not disturb. That's why we start with Revelation 16th chapter, going from 13 all the way down to 16, because that was Yahweh Shah, Well, Yahweh Shah spoke in that text as well, concerning that he's going to come like a thief, man. Well, all the nations not looking for him to come. He's going to pop up, man, in the middle of this war, in the midst of this war, but everybody going to forget about it, thinking, oh, he's not coming. Then he got the Blue Beam project and all that bull crap, man. So, hey, man, this is very interesting. This is a very, very, very serious times, man. Because, our salvation, Lord's willing, I'll be a part of that number, is way nearer than we believe, man. So this is Joel 3, starting in verse 1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, which is the northern and southern kingdoms. All right. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is what? Yahweh Shaphat. All right. And I will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All right. So all these nations that you see, and I just seen a video, you might say this morning, when I was on the plant, I believe it was Instagram. And you had, I forgot what nation it was, but there was a whole bunch of troops just swarming, coming. They're being led. And they don't even know what's leading them to this battle. That's the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Ba'Shem Arachak Wadas, because that's his indignation, man. That's what he wants. All right. And the spirit gets what the spirit wants all the time, no matter what anybody says, man. All right. So all these nations coming to fight, they think, well, we're going to win. When we win, we're going to, it's not going the way you think it is. It's not going down like that, man. This is Joel 3:3. It says, and they have cast lots for my people. Yes, they have. They have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot. Esau, he did all these things, man. So now it's time for your judgment to come. Gave a boy for a harlot. Look what you did. You called it buck breaking, and the transatlantic slave trade here in Babylon. They called it buck breaking. So you gave a boy for a harlot, it says, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So we were merchandise to you. So the Lord is bringing y'all all to this region, this area, to judge you. And judging you mean to destroy you. Your whole infrastructure, your military, your government power and all that, man. It's a done bun, man. It's over for y'all. And y'all don't even dig it, but this is why you're being led to this. And I'm going to get that script. Oh, yo, come, brother. That's right. Brother got up here, Brother McGon. Exodus 15:3. The Lord Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name, That's exactly, and that's why he's bringing it. He's an ultimate chess player, man. How you going to beat him at his own game, man? Come on. This nation is crazy, man. But anyway, Joel 3:4 says, yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? The Lord ain't playing with these nations, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. All right, and look where we at now. We're here in Babylon. We just say Babylon, USA, man. Whatever state you in over here, you're far away from your borders. because our border's over there, man. You know, in the Saudi Arabia area, man. That whole region is ours, man. That's where you go look on the maps. You had the land of Judah, the land of Manasseh, the land of Ephraim, the land of Benjamin, Levi. It's all the tribes, man, you know? And y'all removed us from our border, so the Lord is bringing to that place to give you your recompense, man. It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And that's what the Lord is doing right now, man. All right? That's what the Lord is doing right now. Matter of fact, we're going to keep going because go to 9, we're going to go all the way to 10. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabines, to the people far off, for Yahweh hath spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And that's what the Lord is doing right now, man, as we speak. All right, you're seeing it. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And what you think? Iran would be considered like a weak nation. But they're saying, I'm strong. They're like, yo, Babylon, look, man, we tired of y'all bullying us. Let's have it, man. You know? How niggas send straight, you got guns, we got guns too. You know, like that's where we at with it, man. But the Lord is doing all this, right? To ultimately prove his power, man. All right. Since he on this planet, these people been looking at taking the Lord's name in vain, speaking lightly of him, acting like they in control of things when they're not. So that's why the Lord has to do it. And now, and y'all, this is how you know it's of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Arachakodas, because look at what they're calling the war. All right, it's been called World War III. You know, in Revelation, it said the first war was coming, the second war was coming. No, the first war was coming, the second one's coming too quickly. The third one, you know, which this is, so we know woe is destruction, right? So those two woes came. Now this is the third one. So it's been called World War III. Now they're calling it Armageddon and saying that the ones that's leading this thing is anointed to do so. Hey, Shalom. So they're saying that the ones that's anointed, Salakia, is anointed to do so. You know? So yeah, they are anointed to do it. Because the Lord going to destroy their ass right where they stand, man. So let's keep going. All right, we're going to go to Revelation chapter 17, 16. This is what it means for Babylon. Once they declared it, they talking about Armageddon, Armageddon, they know exactly what it is, man. All right, this is Revelation 17, and what was that? I believe it was 16. All right, it says, in the 10 horns, which is NATO, which thou sawest upon the beast. All right. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's start at verse 14, because it says the victory of the Lamb. All right, victory for the Lamb. And who's the Lamb? Yahushua. All right, this is Revelation chapter 17 and 14. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. All right. And he saith unto them, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And yo, that's talking about the NATO nations, man. All right. NATO is they're going to turn on Babylon. Middle of war, like, man, F this, like, we tired of these niggas. And then that's when, well, we're going to get that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, you know, when it talks about when you had a war going on, everybody's fighting against each other. And then that's when that ship going to come. And all them angels coming with Yahushua. You know, and they said, yo, the man said it in that in his what was that? In that the video I said, I'm gonna play it again. But he said, what if they told you that this was a war, you was fighting for the return of Jesus. I said, oh, shit. Hey, these people know, but he calling him Jesus, but, it's Yahweh, man. All right? And that's what this means for Babylon. Yo, the war of Armageddon means the destruction of Babylon, man. And the Lord is the one bringing these things to this place, man. All right, so let's go back to Revelation 13. Salakia 17. All right, and matter of fact, all right, verse 16, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, all right, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's the end of Babylon, man. That's the future of Babylon, man. All right, they'll be burnt with fire. Thus saith what we're reading in the Bible. All right. And these dudes is quoting prophecies and all that, man. So that's how you know we haven't been lying to you, man. We've been telling you the truth the whole time. All right. It says, for the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. You see that? For the Most High have put in their hearts and their minds to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. All right. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And that's where I sit at right now. And that great city, Babylon. All right. AKA America, AKA POS. All right. You know what that means. Matter of fact, let's get that in the NLT real quick. I like the NLT breaks down a little simpler. So this is Revelation chapter 17. We're going to start at verse. Let's go to. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 13. Revelation 17 and 13 in the NLT. It says, they will all agree to give him their power and authority. Together they will go to war against the Lamb, but the Lamb will defeat them because he is the Lord of all lords and King of all kings. And he is called and chosen and faithful. Salakia, faithful ones will be with him. All right. That Lamb is Yahushua, and they know it. All right. And the faithful ones are going to be with them. It's going to have people getting beamed up. The angels that's coming is faithful. They coming to get busy, man. They ain't coming to talk. They coming to get busy. But it says, verse 15, it says, then the angel said to me, the waters are where the prostitute is ruling, and that's why they call this place a prostitute. Why? Because of all its philosophies, doctrines, and that's why the Lord caused the men say we committed adultery against him because we went a whoring after different gods. And this place is full of them, just like in Egypt, just like in Greece. And Greece adopted a lot of the Egyptian gods. They just changed the color of them and some of the names. So that the Romans did the same thing. And America is no different, man. Anyway, verse 15, it says, then the angel said to me, the waters where the prostitute is ruling represents masses of people of every nation and language. This is a big melting pot, man. It says the scarlet beast and his 10 horns all hate the prostitute. That's NATO. All right. They all gonna hate this place, man. Because look who you got sitting in the seat of the king, Nero, who's an incompetent MFer, man. He poops on himself, man. So they say. But it says they will stir her slacket. They will strip her naked, eat her flesh, and burn her remains with fire. That's heavy, man. All right. It says, for the Most High for the Most High has put a plan into their minds, a plan that will carry out his purposes. They will agree to give their authority to the scarlet beast, and so the words of the Most High, and so the words of the Most High God will be fulfilled. And this woman you saw in your vision represents the great city that rules over the kings of the world. All right, and that's right here in Babylon, man. So let's go here to Zechariah, the prophet Zechariah. All right, hold on. Bear with me. Zechariah 14 and 12, man. Yo, I'm telling you, man, brothers are hype right now. Very, very hype, man. Happy. Because hey, this is proven, that your work and your labor is not in vain. It's proven that the words of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachakodas are faithful and true. Yo, just like his depends. He gotta depend on his depends, brother. So this is Zechariah chapter 14 and 12. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's start at verse 9, because I like the headliner. So the subtitle says, God will be king over all. That's right. I'll keep listening to this song called Babylon Walls Must Fall, man. They have to. And this is great news. And then you're seeing all the chaos and everything ensuing over there after we just had that blood moon on the 3rd, which 3 represents understanding, man. It's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on. So this is Zechariah chapter 14 and 9. It says, and Yahweh shall be king over all the earth. And that day shall there be one power, one Yahweh, and his name one. All right. So he ain't going to be calling on all these other different nations' gods anymore, because you're going to know who's doing this, man. Which we just read in, what was that, Revelations, the 17th chapter. He's putting out their what it says in scriptures. It says, the Lord, he rules in the kingdom of men, right? So he sets up the kings and takes them down. Now he's gathering all the kings together in one region, your militaries, and you're going to be fertilized. You're going to be fertilizer for the ground. How about that? And all the troops over here in Babylon is getting sent and deployed over there. You're not coming home, man. You're not coming home. You're going to your final destination. You know what I mean? Straight like that. That's as plain as I can put it. You're going to, if you're in the military, you get drafted and they deploy your ass over there, that's your final destination, man. Like that movie, Final Destination. Yeah, that's yours. All right? Over there in Jehoshaphat. And this war, Armageddon. All right? That's what that means for balance. So you kiss the babies and all that, because you're never going to see them again. Not in this lifetime. Thus saith the Bible. All right? Zechariah 14 and 10. It says, all the land must be turned, Salakia, all the land shall be turned as a plain from Jeba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananel unto the king's wine presses. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction. All right, that's what the Lord is going to give us. It's going to be peace. That's what our name means, Yasharal, city of peace, man. All right, we're peaceful people. These people are the real tyrants, but they try to put it on us, But hey, and who's going to bring the ultimate violence to them? The Lord, and that's going to be the last. You're going to give them that one good spanking, and that's it for them. It says, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited once we get back home. All right. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite the people that have fought against Jerusalem. With those plagues, those nukes, man. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And we read this yesterday too, when we was going into the I said these scriptures just keep coming out because it's that time, man. We in that time, man. All right. And that's, like I said, the depiction of that, I said yesterday, the depiction of that scripture right there, that Zechariah 14 and 12 is that Terminator 2 Judgment Day. All right. They know what's going on. All right. I believe I just saw a video with DJ Nero. All right. And he was speaking about Iran and the oil back in the 80s, man. He was a young man, He was talking this because that's how they've been planning these things for a long time. But the Lord put the spirit on them and put everything in their mind, to follow out his will. Hey, Shalom, Yabashim Shabrakatah. To follow out his orders, man. All right. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from Yahweh shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one the hand on his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. It's going to be complete chaos, man. Connor's right. He is a groomed devil. That's right, brother. I'm telling you, all hell is about to break loose. Chaos, like they had over here in Philadelphia. You got over there in the county, Montgomery County. They had ICE bought a facility for it was so many millions of dollars, but it got housed over, I believe, 10,000 people. It's a whole lot of people, but you know what they're gonna throw in there, especially when war times come and us speaking like this, prophet speaking, and saying what's going to happen to this place. You're going to be considered an enemy of the state, man. They're going to start coming to try to round you up, put warrants out for you. All this create, man. Listen, they don't even got to put no warrants out for you. They're just going to come grab you, man, wherever the hell, and they tracking you now. So this is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. But hey, like Scripture say they're not going to prevail, man. 2 Peter 3 and 10 says a new heaven and earth, man. That's what you're waiting for. It says, but the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will come as a thief in the night. And that's what we read in Revelations 16, right? The chapter 16, when starting at verse 13, going to 16, when Yahushua said he's going to come like a thief, all right? And Peter prophesied that, right? So check it out. 2 Peter chapter 3 and 10. It says, but the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will come as a thief in the night, and the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And that's what these look at that doomsday clock. I guarantee, look at it now, it got a little closer with the wars going on, right? And it's just getting more and more and more intense, man. This place is toast, man. Cinnamon toast crunch. This place is done. All right, it says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. So that's everything these people put their hands to do, especially here in Babylon. This place is going to be completely, utterly destroyed. Nothing's going to be able to be inhabited here except for the animals of the desert, man. That's it, man. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? And this is a holy conversation right here. What we're talking about, this is holy, separated from all these different conversations. And I was sitting there at the plant today, last night, and this dude was in there, like he was coming out. He had his phone on YouTube and everything. And I'm thinking in my head, like, God damn, out of all this he could be listening to, this nigga is listening for the season of next year for football. I'm like, bro, like, that's a person that's going to get caught like a thief in the night, man. He's like, the thief is coming. That's Yahweh shot. He's coming to snatch his men, women, and children. There's elect and his 1/3 and destroy the rest of y'all. Whoever is not of the number, Lord's willing, I'll be a part of that number. There's no guarantee that I am. I just got to stay diligent, in hopes that I'll make it out of here. But there's no guarantee that I will. And that's just being honest. Who wouldn't want to make it out of here? But hey, that's up to the Lord. It's not up to me. All I got to do is a job that I was given to do. To work for that penny, just like the next man. All right. And this is Revelations 19. And that's what that dude was talking about. And he said, oh, you're fighting for the coming of Jesus. As we know, it's Yahweh side, man. But let's get into it. This is Revelations chapter 19, verse 11. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And who is that that's riding on that? That's Yahweh side's horse, man. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And this, all what I'm reading right now is going to happen in the middle of this Armageddon, this war, in the middle of this World War III. While they getting it in, Yahweh Shah is going to return. That's why this is so heavy. This is a heavy time. And guess what? The Passover is right around the corner, man. April 1st, man. You know, this is an excellent time to be alive, man. You know, because this is where everybody, in the kingdom, this is going to be talked about forever, man. It's going, just want to sit down and tell your kids a story. In the kingdom, you going to tell them about this. I remember in Babylon when we was this. It's going to seem like a dream because the things that the Lord has prepared for us, man. Starting with his elect, man. You know? He said, Issachar told me, not this lifetime. I claim her for her stupidity she needs me once she was. God. Come, brother. And that's what they always say, because they don't want it to happen in their lifetime. But it's already happening, man. There's no getting around. This is Revelations 19 and started 11 again. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. See that? In righteousness he doth judge and make war. Hence what the brother put up there, Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name, man. All right. It says his eyes were as a flame of fire because he is angry. Angry. That matter of fact, it's no words to even express his anger, man. Because when his actions is going to show you just how angry he is. How about that? Because I can sit here and tell you how angry he is, but you about to see just how angry he is, man. It says his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, because that's the crowns he's coming to take from all the nations. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself, which the name is Yahweh Shai, man. And he was clothed with the vesture dipped in blood. That's how much bloodshed is going to happen, man. And just remember that blood moon that happened on the 3rd of this month. His vesture is dipped in blood. That's a representation. That's a warning. What he's coming to bring, the blood. And his name is called the Word of God. That's Yahweh Shai, man. What's that say in the beginning? It was the Word, and the Word was with God. It's talking about Yahweh Shai, man. That's one of his titles. It says, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. That's talking about those angels coming with him, man. Michael is one of them, the archangel, man. They coming to get busy, man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And these other nations know. That's why they're trembling, man. They talking heavy, but the Lord got the spirit on them. They're in derision. Heavy derision. If they think they're going to be the next superpower, they got another thing coming, man. All right. It says, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. See that he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the almighty power. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Woo! Call line y'all by Shem outside, by Shem Chakwadas. He coming in some fly gear to whoop your ass. With his title written. It says written on his vesture, on the thigh. It says, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's heavy, man. That's kabah. I'm gonna shut up, man. Listen, man. Hey, man. The Lord is bad. I'm gonna just say that. It says, and I saw the angel standing, though. This is what this word means for Babylon. All right. It says, and I saw the angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying, to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power. You know, that's that they may eat the flesh of kings. They about to, man, these missiles about to F this place up. And the flesh of captains and the flesh of mighty men and the flesh of horses and of them that sit on them. Talking about those, their tankers, their everything they got, they're just going to be destroyed. And the Lord is going to shoot that concentrated heat, you know, straight out his ship, man. You know? And I remember Apostle Gabar saying a while back, he said, man, he said, Yahweh Shah going to hop on this ship and come run some of you niggas down personally, man. You know, that's his anger, man. He's, just. Hey, but I'm going to keep reading. It says, in the flesh of horses and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. All right. And against his army, man. Oh, yo, these niggas is in derision. Like, you cannot make this up, man. The Lord is doing all this, man. He's telling you, right? So check it out. Let's go here real quick to Zephaniah 3 and 8. All right. And then we're going to go to the last trips I have. This is all the things that's going to happen during this war, man. All right. Zephaniah 3 and 8, it says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh. Talking to us. Wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up against the prey. Right? That's what he's about to do. So I rise up against the prey and all these other nations that's here, that's going to be in this battle, the kings of the earth and all that, your armies, you're the prey. All right. It says, for my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, which is even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then damn. God damn. I'm gonna stop right there. So let's go here. The last scriptures I have, we're gonna go to 2nd Ezra. To back that right up, you know, and also the backup of Revelations, the 19th chapter. All right. So this is our 2nd Ezra 13. So this is going into the actual war. Then you know what? You could go into Revelation when it talks about there was war in heaven. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab that next. Lord's willing. Revelation, 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and I'll start verse 1. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. Talking about Yahweh Shah come with the angels, man. Because then he say he could bring 10,000 legions of angels if he wanted to call them when he was here the first time. It says that when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. So when he come in that ship, oh shit, them legs gonna get feeble. Them legs gonna be like noodles, man. Wet noodles, you know. You know, you cook spaghetti, them noodles get wet. They can't stand, man. It says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. That's that. They show you that on what's that? The movie Independence Day with Will Smith back in. I believe that came out in 1996 when the ship came over top of the building and stopped and everybody's on top. Oh yeah, and they had their sound. Oh, welcome aliens, welcome, yeah. And you seen the mouth of the ship opened up. It's like it was gathering energy. Then it shot that concentrated boosh and blew the whole goddamn building up, man. You know, that's how the Lord coming, man. That's exactly how it coming. And yo, why would they put that in that movie if they ain't know? They ain't read these scriptures. They know. Steven Spielberg know that shit, man. You know? And he went and the apostles talked to him, man. All right. So 2 Ezra 13:4 says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. We're just talking about these nations, right? Because the Lord going to have to put the spirit on them to fight against them, because they're going to be terrified. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. All right. It says, verse 6, it says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. That's talking about his ship. All right. And Ezra's even trying to explain it, like, damn, it looked like a mountain and the air flying. You know, that's what the prophets did. They explained it to the best of their ability, what they saw, what they had around them. Right. He said, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fight. See that? They were sore afraid because they looking at this military coming out the sky like, God damn. And they've been trying to shoot at the chariots, and they can't even mess with the chariots. Like, I was watching a video with this war going on right now, and they had this one pilot. He was skilled. I give him that. He was skilled. He was flying and he dipping around the missiles that they shot at him. I believe they were heat-seeking missiles, but he was flowing through them, shooting his missiles back, and he destroyed them, got away. But when it's a great difference between that. When I saw them shooting at the chariot sat there. As soon as that missile got close, and the missile blew up, I said, they're going to have a field day with these people, man, with these armies. The Lord and his army is going to have a field day with these people, man. Watch. Verse back in 2 Ezra 13:8, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there was fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Dean. It says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Man, listen. You ain't got no wins, Esau, and you other nations. You have 0 wins, man. 0. So keep trying, or whatever the fuck you want to do, but you got 0 wins, man. It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire and the flame. Like I said, they showed you that in Independence Day, the flaming breath and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of the innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and the sky. Damn. Dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. You goddamn right you're going to be afraid, man. You know? Sheesh. Damn. Like, listen, man. I can't even, man, I'm trying to find the one when it goes into, it says, hold up. Real quick. Okay, all right, con. Here we go. The water y'all busting outside. Now, this is going into it too. I'm gonna hop down. To verse. All right, here we go. Let's start at verse 38, because it's going to the same thing. All right. But we're going to jump down to 28. All right, this is 2nd Ezra 13, we're jumping down to verse 28. It says, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. It says, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. All right. So simultaneously, while he's destroying this place, he's going to send out his angels to gather his elect and his 1/3 from the four winds of the earth, the four corners. It says, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, and one shall undertake to fight against another. See, this is going into the war Armageddon, World War III. It says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And that realm is going into the spirit realm, and you're going to see Yahweh Shah up here. All right. Salakia. It says, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and signs shall happen, which I shewed thee before. And then shall the Son of Man be declared. Then shall my Son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have won against another. They're going to be fighting against each other. And the innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be shewed to all men, being prepared and builded like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked and inventions of those nations which for their wicked lives are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and their torments, their wherewith they shall begin to be tormented. So you're going to be effing with their mind too, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. And whereas thou sawest that gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land and into the time of Oshea the king, and whom Salamander the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. All right, so hey, this is what the Lord is about to do, man. He's going to destroy this place, and he's going to deliver his elect, man. That's what this war means, man. For Babylon, man. All right. Well, check this one out real fast to get this last one. All right. Last, because then I'm gonna play that video one more time because it's real short. Real quick. Let's get this scripture. Revelations 12:7. All right. The backup what we just read in which we just read in hold up. Which we just read in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. Revelation 12:7. Starting verse 7. All right. Going to 9. This Revelations 12, verse 7. It says the angel Michael, all right, which in the Hebrew is Ma'aka'Allah. You know. It says Revelation 12:7 says, and there was war in heaven, which we was just reading in 2nd Ezra 13th chapter. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And see, the Christians try to say this already happened. Well, they're about to be proven wrong because it's about to happen. All right. It says, and prevail not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. I mean, they're never going to be in the skies again. Hey, Shalom, bro. Yah Bashim Asai, Bashim Rechakodas Brakatah. It says, and prevail not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Talking about he gonna be cast into the earth, meaning all your chariots that you got flying around, the Lord about to take them right out the air. You're never gonna fly again. You're gonna be grounded. For the whole 1,000 years that you're in slavery, then you're gonna be destroyed, and nobody's gonna hear Edomites anymore. You're just gonna be you're gonna fade away like a vapor, man. All right. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of the Most High, our power, and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night, man. It accuses day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, right? That's how we're going to overcome. By the blood of the Lamb, and it says, and by the word of their testimony. And this is a testimony as well. And that's going on the highways or hedges. What are we doing? We're prophesying with testimony, giving a testimony of the things that come as prophecy and of Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Arachaha Kwadash. All right. It says, and by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto the death. All right. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he know that he hath but a short time, man. All right. So that's what that means. You know, that's what this war means.
Fighting for the return.
All right. And for Babylon, check this out. I'm gonna play this video one more time. It's short. This was kind of because I looked up something, but let's listen to what this guy says, man.
You're deployed to a conflict zone, and your commanding officer tells you that you are fighting for the return of Jesus. This isn't a movie plot. It is a bombshell reality hitting over 30 U.S. military installations right now. Reports are surfacing that troops across every branch of the military are being briefed with messages about biblical prophecies and Armageddon as the justification for a major new conflict in the Middle East. Over 100 separate complaints have already been logged with religious freedom groups because the messaging is surreal. Commanders are reportedly telling service members that the current conflict is all part of a divine plan and that the leadership has been specifically anointed for the end times. While these chilling briefings are happening on the ground, the actual legal justification at home is completely missing. This entire military operation was launched without a single declaration of war from Congress and without a clear constitutional explanation offered to the American people. The narrative keeps shifting. First, we were told it was about an imminent nuclear threat, but leaked intelligence suggests there was no evidence of an imminent attack on U.S. forces. It feels like the goalposts are moving every single day. Even more shocking is where these massive strategic decisions are being made. Reports describe a chaotic scene at a private vacation home where top-secret military targets were displayed behind hastily hung curtains while guests wandered nearby. Security protocols seem to have vanished, replaced by a glib attitude toward the human cost of these decisions. When families grieve for those who make the ultimate sacrifice, they are told that's just the way it is. Meanwhile, as taxpayers struggle to make ends meet, energy prices are spiking and the cost of global trade is skyrocketing. Even the most prominent voices across the political spectrum are starting to push back, asking why our best and bravest are being put at risk for a plan that no one can officially explain. We are seeing a full-scale war unfold based on a narrative that many are calling a dangerous fantasy. We have to ask, who is really calling the shots, and what is the true cost of this mission? Stay informed on the stories the mainstream media won't touch. Subscribe and follow for more. Imagine being a soldier deployed to a conflict zone.
There you have it, man. There you have it. So I'm going to say this one more time before I get out of here. If you get drafted into this war, you already in the military, you're going. And you get deployed over there to Yahweh Shaphat and this war Armageddon, World War III, you're not coming back here. You're going to perish over there. Thus saith the Bible, man. So with that, Lord's willing, this was edifying. You know, you got something out of it. Hey, man, you better pray, fast, you know, stay diligent, man. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, to us is truth. Honors and salutations to the elect. Until the men that died doing the work, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, because they shut us first. So the next lesson, I'm going to say Mawaf Abba Ball, Kwam Yasharala. Mawaf Abba Ball, Mawaf Abba Ball, Mawaf Abba Ball, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom. You're almost home, Yasharala. Stay up. Oh, shit, probably like